Welcome to the Crystal Self-Healer Podcast. I'm Carissa Weaver. On this podcast, we blend the magic of crystals with the science of psychology to help you break free from chaos, ditch the overwhelm, and master your emotions so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day. Get ready to unlock your intuition and restore your true power as we cover how you can transform your life using crystals and self-awareness. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go. The energy healing and spiritual space has a problem. Too often, empty words and false promises get the spotlight, making real transformation look like a joke. And like any other industry, it only takes one empty promise getting the spotlight to make the valuable work that is done lose credibility. And the worst offender? Spiritual bypassing. The idea that you can manifest change without engaging in reality, without working through the uncomfortable stuff. If you've been feeling a disconnect between what you're being told to do and what actually aligns with your values, this episode is for you. We're going deep into spiritual bypassing, how it derails your efforts, and how it blocks real transformation. By the end, you'll know how to bring your values back into your practice and actually experience the growth you've been working for. The card inspiration for this episode is, as always, from a weekly crystal and tarot forecast from inside the Charmed community. If you'd like to join me for these free weekly readings, come and join this free community using the link in the show notes. The card we're looking at today is the Tower. This card depicts exactly what the card is, with a tower dominating the image. Now, what's going on with the Tower is what brings all the meaning and significance to it. We can clearly see that there are two people exiting the Tower in a not so pleasant way, as if they have jumped out of the Tower in an attempt to save themselves. There are plenty of sparks in the sky, flames dancing out of the windows, and dark gray clouds in the sky. Now, as a self-proclaimed burn-it-to-the-ground girl, the part of this card that I enjoy the most is the lightning bolt arrow that has knocked the crown off the tower. What this card is talking about is the dismantling of structures that we have mistakenly believed to have brought safety and security. These ivory towers, if you will, that shadow over us with some self-determined value we then attempt to emulate, which ultimately can burn us when its status is challenged and therefore collapses. If you are a genuine truth seeker, this card will not concern you when it comes up in a reading because you most likely don't engage in spiritual bypassing. But for those of you who are holding on too tightly to doctrine, dogma, or opinions, the card will shake you to your core. Now, I do want to touch on the lighter, more hopeful part of the imagery. The tower that is crumbling does sit upon a strong foundation, the rock bed beneath it. So know that if you are currently feeling like your world is being shaken to the core, once you find your way back to your solid footing, you'll be able to rebuild. So here's the issue I want you to consider today. When you resist the discomfort of the dismantling, when you cling to an illusion that being all light and love or that rising above absolves you from engaging in the day-to-day experiences, when you cling to this illusion rather than confronting truths, that's when you fall into spiritual bypassing. A lot of talk is done inside the energy healing and spiritual space that tells you your goal is to raise your vibration, to rise above and not engage. And when you use this guidance as your permission to check out, to pretend that by not engaging, you are doing your part to lift everyone else up, This just allows for those dark forces to do what they do best and pull everyone down with them. I am never going to advocate that you should roll over and just accept. I encourage you to absolutely establish a way for you to come from a place of resolve, a space of conviction for your beliefs. But being in this space will trigger your emotions. It will tap you on the shoulder and remind you of wounds you thought were long healed. And this is often where the goal of being above the fray can lull you into spiritual bypassing. Many people confuse engagement with control. There's a clear distinction between being controlling and the process of engaging while allowing. Without a clear understanding of the difference, when efforts don't work, people swing towards a hands-off, energy-focused approach to compensate. I think that people believe they are allowing when they disengage from taking action. And I think this allows a lot of people to confuse having trust with actual spiritual bypassing. Let's explore an example here. Let's say you notice unhealthy patterns in your relationship. Maybe your partner is emotionally unavailable, dismissive, inconsistent, or doesn't meet your needs. Your first instinct may be to fix the problem or patterns by taking a direct approach. Maybe you start by fighting, or you communicate your needs, expecting them to understand and adjust accordingly. Maybe you even try to micromanage their behavior, hoping that by providing feedback and structure, that it will support them in changing. This forceful approach may work for a hot minute because your partner behaves for a few days or weeks before they slide back into their own old habits. This creates frustration and anger for you because your desired outcome isn't sticking. So you then swing to the other side of the spectrum and embrace the love and light, raise your vibration side of manifesting your outcome. Here, you might start doing all the meditations, mantras, and affirmations, believing that if you just shift your energy enough in the right way, the issues will poof, disappear. You focus on raising your vibration, waiting for your partner to match you. You focus on the idea of healing, expecting your partner to join you there. You hold on to your vision, praying your partner holds the same vision. In this effort to be trusting, you are actually spiritually bypassing and creating new dysfunctional behaviors that continue to compensate and drive the things you don't like, all the while focusing on how you can create the change within your partner. There are two things that are going off the rails here. First, the disengagement you're doing, yet still expecting change. Spiritual bypassing will have you believe that you can expect growth to happen while avoiding the action you can do to create real change. Second, focusing on the change to happen outside of you. You can't wish someone to change and have it happen without their consent, buy-in, and participation. So don't hear this as my saying you should stop meditating or no longer build your crystal grids. That would be inaccurate. But to do those things alone and in isolation is the spiritual bypassing I am suggesting you avoid. Do the work to heal your traumas, your past hurts, your triggers. These things cloud your ability to actually trust in the bigger picture with clarity. By doing the work of healing alongside your crystal and ritual practices, you integrate spiritual wisdom with meaningful action, no longer bypassing, but actively engaging in your transformation. Now bring all this back to the Tower card. When you are building up your tower around empty words and false promises, it can't and won't stand up to the test of time or for the person committed to being the best version of themselves. The Tower is inviting you to radically dismantle the false beliefs and unserving methods you have built your house on. so you can rebuild on the solid footing of your true values and beliefs. While you may be tempted to check out because the emotional cost of not spiritually bypassing seems too great, I'm going to offer Malachite as a supportive crystal for this, and here's why. Malachite can help you break unhealthy cycles and bring awareness to the subconscious patterns that are keeping you stuck. If you're trapped in a loop of forcing outcomes, then swinging into passive bypassing, Malachite forces you to face the truth whether you're ready for it or not. A misconception about allowing is that it means doing nothing. True allowing isn't passive, but about being open to aligned action. Malachite encourages you to trust the unfolding process while still staying engaged in your own transformation, helping you stay in flow without disconnecting from the real-world changes you need to make. Malachite will help reveal where you're giving away your power and where you need to take it back. It will help you see where you're being too rigid, where you're being too passive, and where your real empowerment lies. Being connected with the heart chakra, Malachite will help regulate emotional extremes so you don't react from fear, frustration, or desperation. It allows you to stay present with your feelings without being consumed by them. When you find yourself feeling pulled to spiritually bypass, here's a little ritual you can do that will help you in the moment. In a quiet, comfortable space, hold your Malachite in your left hand, often considered your receiving hand, or place it in front of you. Close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and set the intention to release the urge to detach through spiritual bypassing. Acknowledge the desire to engage with your true emotions and the discomfort of your transformation. As you stay in this space of centered, grounded breathing, imagine a green glow growing from the crystal and completely enveloping you in a supportive bubble. Allow your mind to drift and begin to examine the situation you're facing through a lens of curiosity. See it unfold in front of you as if you were watching a movie. Each time it ends, rewind back to the beginning and imagine a different way for the situation to be handled or dealt with, along with alternate outcomes. Observe how each version of the situation makes you feel, where you feel out of control, where you feel vulnerable, where you feel resolute, and where you feel empowered. Continue breathing deeply as you watch through these different scenarios and experience the accompanying emotions, allowing your breath to anchor you into your body and the present moment. Observe how it feels to bring up and let go of the emotions that would normally trigger you into behaviors you want to release. Affirm to yourself, I trust myself to fully engage with my emotions, embracing both discomfort and growth. When you feel a sense of completion, express gratitude for the clarity and support this ritual has brought you. Take a few more deep breaths, slowly bringing your awareness back to the present moment. As I said earlier, today's pairing of the Tower with Malachite is from a recent crystal and tarot forecast inside the Charmed community. I invite you to join me in this free space where I share these weekly readings to help you align your energy and focus your week. You'll also connect with others who are exploring their growth and creating change in their lives, just like you. Join us for free. The link is in the show notes. And if you're ready to be part of a space that holds you in your healing, a space where you can feel seen, supported, and connected, I'd love to have you join me in the Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal. It's where we go beyond the weekly guidance and focus on equipping you with tools, resources, and support to build your confidence in crystal healing and emotional self-care. Inside, you'll find personalized coaching, healing sessions, rituals, and everything you need to truly empower yourself to live with more ease and alignment. Visit my website, 3charmgems.com or click the link in the show notes to learn more and join me. Today's episode has been brought to you by the Tower, Malachite, and spiritual bypassing. May we all see our emotions through a lens of curiosity so we can see through empty words or false promises and rebuild on a solid foundation. Blessed be, my friends. All right, my friends, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for joining me here today on the Crystal Self-Healer podcast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review, and take the What Crystal is Best for You quiz linked in the show notes. Join me again next week as we continue to demystify crystals, how your brain works, and how you can use them so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day.